And hello and welcome everyone to a very special installment of the Comic Multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. Although wouldn't you agree, Matt, that every episode is special?
Yeah, every episode is special in its own unique way.
It really is. There are many shows like the Comic Multiverse, but this one is mine. And
Yeah.
Matt's, it's a 50-50 thing. But yes, everyone, if you couldn't tell, this is our New York Comic Con special, something that's become something of a tradition here on the Comic Multiverse. Usually, big news stories always drop, big new announcements
hmm
are had at the New York Comic Con. I'm glad to say I was lucky enough to attend one time, and every year after, I keep saying I'm going to go back, and I haven't.
Yeah, I would very much like to attend like New York Comic Con. I think it'd be really great.
Start saving now. New York is expensive.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I had a friggin' pod hotel all lined up, but then I also got a speaking gig at London Comic Con, London, Ontario. So, hey, come out and see me do that at the end of October. It's like, well, Joel, you only got enough money for two trips. What do you want? And also, Philly snuck up on me. I didn't think I'd be going to that. I thought I'd have enough money, but that's neither here nor there. It's New York time, it's comic news time, it's also Canadian Thanksgiving time. That's where I've come from today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm all full of turkey and pumpkin pie. I really don't want to do this show. I'm so tired and so bloated.
You got those
But
meat sweats.
I got the meat sweats, I got the itis, but never say Joel never did anything for you, everyone. He just wants to sleep. The kitchen is a horrible mess, and I'm not going to clean that till tomorrow. But again, you get a show now, everyone. So I guess the first piece of news here, I don't know if this is the biggest piece of news. I kind of just assembled these, without rhyme or reason, but I figured it's something Matt would most definitely like to talk about. Jon Favreau's brand new Star Wars show has been announced, the live action $1 million in episode one, and it's going to be about fucking Mandalorians, bro.
Yeah, man, that's so cool. I kind of already knew it was going to be about that since there was like some rumors going around that it would be about the Mandalorians and everything, and he has ties to the Mandalorian, voicing Pre
Yes.
Vizsla and everything. Um,
As we all know, Jon Favreau is himself actually a descendant of Mandalore. You didn't know that, but he actually is one. He just doesn't voice them.
but no, this seems like it's really cool. It's set after episode 6 in that 30-year gap between
Mm.
6 and 7. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be really cool. We got like a first picture as well of the main character.
Yes.
Looks really awesome.
Looks very cowboy, is what I liked about it.
Yeah, yeah, and even better is we got like some of the directors that were going to be,
Yeah.
and it's like not they're not picking just like random TV directors. They're picking
No.
like Taika Waititi, Bryce Dallas Howard, Ron Howard's daughter,
Yeah. The guy
uh,
who did Dope, I can never
yeah,
pronounce his last name.
Rick Fumiyiwa, the guy who was gonna do Flash.
He's really good, is what we're trying to get
Yeah,
across. He's really good. But yeah, just a killer's row of amazing talent to do this Star Wars TV show. And you know how I know it's good? Even the regular crybaby force, when it comes to Star Wars, who are louder and more vocal than ever these days, they had nothing to say about this. They're like, ooh, Mandalorians, I like those.
oh, I still saw some that were haven't had
Mm,
a problem with people like, women or someone like Taika Waititi taking Star Wars, but
right.
fuck them.
Having a moan. Yeah, having a moan, as they
Yeah,
say. And as Matt said it better than I ever could. Fuck them.
yeah, yeah,
That's fine. You be over there and don't have fun. We'll be over here with our Mandalorians having fun.
yeah, yeah.
Now, here's a question I wonder if they're ever going to answer, and if it's a circle they're ever going to square from Clone Wars and kind of the last weird bit of G canon George Lucas fuckery. And that is, oh, Jango Fett and Boba Fett aren't blood Mandalorians now. They're just some D-bags who stole their armor. They were basically like weeaboos for Mandalorian culture, and they appropriated the costume and everything.
Yeah, they probably will. That's the thing. Like, there's even like I heard someone, and I don't think it's actually going to happen, but it would be actually really cool. Whereas like the main character of this isn't a Mandalorian either, and like
Mm,
he's using the armor like how they did, how it has that sort of attitude where like people, oh, he's a Mandalorian, don't mess with him.
okay.
It's kind of got that thing going for it, and he's using that to his advantage, which I
Yeah,
think would
because
be pretty cool.
Right, because I guess my head canon always was, and it hasn't been made official canon anywhere, but it's the idea where it's like, yeah, the Mandalorians were a proud, badass warrior race once upon a time, but then they had their great fall, but, their weapons and technology and tactics have been reappropriated by other people who have become the next generation of Mandalorian bounty hunters. Again, that's never been made official, but maybe it will be here.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. It's there's definitely a lot of different ways they could go with it. They've got obviously all the stuff built up from Clone Wars and Rebels,
Yeah.
with like Death Watch and everything. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Death Watch actually do come back in this in some way.
It would be awesome if what is it, Jon Favreau's character, well, Jon Favreau's character is going to be mentioned, but it wouldn't be funny if he did the voice like in a hollow recording. It's just him talking.
That'd be pretty cool.
Jon Favreau gets to get paid twice now. And that wasn't the only Star Wars news too. There was a ton of new comic book news. Charles Soule's Darth Vader comic is coming to an end, but that's okay because they're replacing it with another Darth Vader series.
Yeah, a 5-issue miniseries called Shadow of Vader, which each issue deals with someone who has been affected by Vader. So I think one issue is like a rebel pilot, the other issue is like Children of Senator. One is the guy who we see briefly in Empire Strikes Back, who's running, and he's got obviously what's an ice cream maker under his arm when he's escaping Bespin. That guy, for some reason,
gets a whole story.
Yeah, he does. He gets a whole goddamn comic story. Very excited.
Is there anything more Star Wars than that? Hey, guy who stood in the background for a couple seconds, you get a whole story.
Well, that's the thing. In the old expanded canon, he had a story, this huge story where it's what he stole was the Bespin computer core, and he was saving Lando's business and all this sort of stuff. Yeah.
Let's see how much they keep and how much they don't.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks really cool. And also, Charles Soule isn't actually done with Star Wars yet. He did tease another project, but we don't know what it is.
Of course, they got another Star Wars project. Explain this to me, Matt, because I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and I will admit I am not a big a Star Wars expert as you. What's the deal with Vader's castle? Recently, I've had a bunch more people talking about Vader's castle in the last little bit, it's really important again for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's the final arc in Soule's book. It's called Fortress Vader, where he builds the fortress we see on Mustafar. He goes there, and
right. Yeah,
it's actually pretty cool because they haven't finished it yet because I think it finishes on issue 25. But at the moment, they seek to imply that an ancient Sith mask possesses someone and gives him the schematics for this building that will focus the Force and everything.
So building up the importance of Vader's castle.
Yeah.
That's cool. I can like that. The other Star Wars news there, Resistance had a big showing, and apparently there's a bunch of episodes that people got to see while they were there.
I actually got to see the first 3 episodes because they're out on the Disney thingy.
That's right. I kept meaning to watch those too. Again, I can never tell where I'm okay, were these leaks or were these official? But okay, you're telling me they're official then. Okay.
Yeah, apparently they're going to be on the app or whatever you want to call it, a day before they actually air on Disney XD.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, what did you think of the first 3 episodes?
It's pretty good. It's definitely a show that will grow with its audience, like Rebels and Clone Wars. I really liked what I saw. It was really cool. Some really cool ship designs, and the characters are pretty cool as well. I like the color palette, and I like, as you said, the commitment to all new characters, all new scenarios. But also, here's Poe, and here's Phasma too, and also here's maybe us hinting the origins of the First Order for those who care. Yeah, well, not to spoil or anything, but so far in the episodes that I saw, Poe and Phasma are only in 1 episode each. Right, and also we know Leia's going to be in it at some point. Yeah, well, she was in the first episode, briefly. Right. But yeah, the mainstay is BB-8, as the little droid helper. Also, maybe don't fall in love with Leia's voice actress because she said some dumb shit on Twitter and they might not be keeping her around. Oh, God. Which that got me. I'm really now? So you fire James Gunn on the spot for shit he said 10 years ago that was dug up by cyber Nazis. Meanwhile, this lady says dumb shit today that would make Carrie Fisher roll over in her grave, and you don't fire her right away. Yeah, God damn.
Disney. Do we need to have a talk, Disney? Do I need to sit you down on the shame couch? Do you need to talk with the shame wizard? Some people will get that shame wizard reference. Some people will not get the shame wizard reference. I was watching Big Mouth season 2, which I didn't think I would because I thought the first season was very uneven, but they have a new character called the Shame Wizard who might be one of my favorite characters in anything this year. You see, the Shame Wizard is the enemy of the puberty monster. He comes and makes you feel shame. We all have a little shame wizard in us. But hey, you know what's something that's not shameful? Something that I thought was going to be shameful, but was actually quite surprising. This actually kind of got launched before New York Comic Con, but it was clearly supposed to play there. The Harley Quinn animated series trailer.
Yeah.
This has a lot going for it. One, it is painfully self-aware. It even rips on Titans, which blows me away, where it's like, whoa, did they recut? Or were they always going to rip on Titans?
I think they were always
rips on the overall.
Yeah.
Rips on the overall dark aesthetic of the DC universe in a funny way. Even takes some pretty well-deserved jabs at Marvel, where Harley says, am I just DC's Deadpool? Well, tell you what, my show's getting made and his isn't. And I'm like, ouch, that hurts because it's true. And also, hey, not Will Arnett, but Diedrich Baker, or Barber, is back as Batman from Batman Brave and the Bold. He's going to be Batman in this show, too.
That was pretty cool.
That's a nice bit of connection. I'm like, good. I like that Kevin Conroy is the official serious animated Batman, and Diedrich can now be the official funny Batman.
Yeah. The only thing like with the show is I hope it doesn't become like Deadpool, and it's just like, it's just a female Deadpool.
Yeah, whackety schmackety do, breaking the fourth wall. Look at us.
Yeah. Or like that god awful Harley Quinn and Batman film.
Oh yeah, don't go there. Yeah. We also got our official new voice actress as the voice of Harley. I thought she was okay. Again, I can never not hear Arlene Sorkin, but I will say I'm glad they went with this new woman instead of just Tara Strong, who stopped trying like 5 movies ago.
Yeah, this new one, she's the woman from Big Bang Theory, isn't it?
Is it? I know she was in one of the movies. I thought this was someone else.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was.
I guess we'll figure that one out down the line. That's, for the record, that's not to say I don't like Tara Strong. It's just when Tara Strong started voicing Harley Quinn, she tried really hard to sound like Arlene Sorkin, and every time she tried a little less and less hard.
Yeah, it just kind of like fell off near the end there.
So the last one, it's just like, well, now it's just Tara Strong talking. You're not even trying anymore.
Yeah.
To which I'm sure she's like, God damn it, man! I got 100 other shows I booked this week. Give me a fucking break. Got 100 here that I booked, but yeah, it looks funny. Another thing that kind of blew me away: she's in her traditional original Harley Quinn costume for this.
Yeah, they're not going with the Suicide Squad edgy one.
Which I was certain they would.
Yeah.
This gives me thoughts and ideas, and that is, wait, if she's gone back to her original costume here, and they've bent over backwards to make all the Teen Titans related books reflect the new Teen Titans show, is Harley gonna get her old costume back?
Probably.
I mean, if Batman and Superman can get their trunks back, why can't she have her suit back?
Yeah, I imagine she would.
I mean, it would make everything look as it should. Like, that's kind of that's really, when we stop and think about that, might be the last big holdover from the New 52 era, am I right, as far as, like, looks go?
I think so, yeah.
I guess that and Roy Harper's dumb trucker cap.
Yeah, but he's dead, so, yeah.
He's dead now. He's dead, so it doesn't matter now, because he's dead. Wally 2, which I like, apparently at the New York Comic Con show, someone asked Dan DiDio point blank, why did you kill Wally? To which Dan DiDio's like, well, I was tired of taking crap on people for saying I hated Nightwing so much, so I thought I'd kill Wally instead.
And they said the deaths are permanent, and everyone went, sure they are.
Yeah, that's why you have time-traveling Booster Gold being a part of it. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Also, apparently the solicitation for the next big Flash annual coming next year basically says, and Barry finally tells Iris about Wally.
Yeah.
I mean, she could tell him even though he's dead. Hey, he was here. Oh, but then he died. Should have told you sooner. Oh, man, for the fastest man alive, boy, am I slow. Just never a good time for it. Baseball was good. Started playing World of Warcraft again. Just could never find the time.
Yeah, just league business,
Just league business. Oh man, wish I could have told you. Now, now you seem mad that I didn't tell you that he's alive, but he's dead. Sorry, man. That's that old West temper. Wally had that too. Oh, and he's dead. But he's probably not dead. And hey, speaking of Flash, this actually makes for a pretty solid segue. The Flash Year One, brand new series. They had promised it a long time ago, but it's finally coming out in 2019.
Yeah, and it's been written by Joshua Williamson and with art by Howard Porter, so it's going to read really well and look really cool.
It's surprising to see Williamson is going to be writing this Year One because he's also writing, the main book. Yeah, and usually you don't do both. Usually it's a radical reinvention when you do like the Year One Earth One.
Yeah, which makes me think like it's just going to be like an in continuity sort of origin sort of thing, sort of lining up with what he's doing in his Flash book and everything, which is really cool because like he's like the Flash guy now.
He really is, and clearly DC thinks that, where it's like, okay, who's going to do our Flash Year One? Hey, give it to Josh. He seems to be the only one who knows and cares.
Yeah, Jeff Johns destroyed a desk when he heard that. I wanted it, yes. God damn it.
Jeff, you can't have all of the things. Jeff, you need to finish what's on your plate right now before you can write anything else. No, but I want that too. When's Three Jokers coming out? Jeff, I don't fucking know.
When are you going to be finished Doomsday Clock? Maybe never.
Oh, yeah, maybe never, just to spite you. Hey, what about Shazam? Oh, I'm definitely finishing Shazam. I've been writing Shazam this whole time. That's what we did. What about the JSA? I got some ideas. It's got a big folder, just Jeff Johns' ideas. But yeah, like you said, either it's going to be super in continuity or he's really going to challenge himself to make it wildly different.
Yeah. But the art looks really cool. We got like that picture of like Barry sitting atop a throne of like used shoes, which I think is really cool.
That's a cool image because you figure if you're a super speedster and you're learning your powers for your first time, you're going to go through a lot of shoes before you figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one looks fun. I don't read a lot of the Year One stuff because it feels like it takes forever for any of them to come out.
Yeah, it really does.
So it's like, well, why am I getting invested in this universe if it seems like, it takes forever for any of these to get done? That being said, heard great stuff about the Batman. You've told me great stuff about the Supermans. I think the one I read was actually Titans Year One or Earth One, and that was the one people weren't crazy about.
Yeah, people didn't really like that one, but it still got a volume 2, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Heard good things about the Green Lantern one.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
Yeah, again, I look at them and I'm like, maybe one day I'll pick this up, but not today. Now, lots of news about new weekly series here, Matt. Here's one I was not expecting, but maybe I should have. Avengers No Road Home will be the sequel series to Avengers No Surrender, and it's going to be weekly.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for it because it appears Hercules is the main character.
Fucking A, man. I'm all about that, especially because if you read No Surrender, likewise, it was all characters who never got any spotlight. It was the USA Avengers getting to wrap up. Yeah. It was Living Lightning getting to be the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, and I really miss Hercules. Like, for a while there, he was, like, really big, and, like, what they were doing with him was really cool. They gave him his own, like, mini and everything, and it was really cool. Yeah. And then he sort of just, like, disappeared.
They try every couple of years to launch Hercules, and the last time they did it, who wrote that last Hercules book you and I really liked?
I cannot remember. It was a while. It was like before Secret Empire.
Was it Jurgens or was it someone else?
No, it was someone else.
It was someone else, but it was really good, and the villain was Max Landis.
yeah, basically.
He fought the god of New Age technology, who was literally just Max Landis. Rainbow hair and everything, but yeah. Totally on board for this. They've assembled pretty much the whole team who did Avengers No Surrender. So it's Jim Zub and everyone else we like. Basically, all the constant workhorses of Marvel Comics.
Yeah, all the ones writing their big events at the moment, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice to see those guys kind of get up there. I mean, obviously, guys like Wade is a veteran. But, guys like Zub who are just really starting to make their name and, really starting to make their bones. Another cool thing about Zub, Champions is getting a brand new #1, and they're basically turning it into Legion of Superheroes, but for Marvel.
I did see that. I fell off Champions. I've been keeping an eye on it and like what they're doing in it, and it seems like it's really cool at the moment with like Dungeons and Dragons sort of stuff and everything. But yeah,
I read that this week.
Since they're sort of changing the team into like what you said, like Legion of Superheroes, like a larger team, I might actually start picking it up again.
It basically already is. Like, you can start at Zub's #1 and go from there, because he basically is like, all right, all the Wade stuff happened, but time to go in my own direction. And he's doing it really well. I talked to him at Philly, and he basically said, look, I didn't want this to be the kids' table team. Yeah. I didn't want them to have junior threats. I wanted them to fight real threats. So I went to the Marvel editors with a list of villains I wanted to use, who are all AAA villains. And they're like, okay, you can have this one, and this one. And he's like, and then I built out the next year's worth of stories.
That's pretty cool, because that really is something that like kind of detracted me from the Wade book, where it's like, oh, they're fighting like kid versions of like villains. Yeah.
Or weren't even fighting villains at all. They're like, now we're fighting man in a suit. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, in reality, man in a suit is probably more evil, but
yeah.
But yeah, so that's what they're doing with that. Good on Zub. I know he was in a really rough place with Marvel Fresh Start, because it's like, okay, you're inheriting the book from Mark Waid. No, you don't get a Marvel Fresh Start #1 to get new eyes on it. No, we're not going to promote it. You have to do it all on your own.
Yeah, he was kind of against the odds, and it seemed to work out for him.
Yeah, he buckled down, and I think that's become a hell of a book to read. And in fact, I'm not afraid to say, it's the best Teen Titans book you can read right now, because Titans Under Glass sucks.
It's really bad.
So, there's that at least. If you want the fun, youthful, exuberant spirit of a Teen Titans book, it's out there somewhere. It's just at the other company. Now, here's a story that few people have actually been reporting. In fact, I think this one got buried under all the other news, which I think is perfectly indicative of how the general public treats this character when he's not on television. Daredevil, we reported a while back that they're going to have a new storyline. It will be Charles Soule's last Daredevil storyline, and it's starting soon. It's called Death of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And you and I both said there's no way they'll kill him off with his new TV show coming out soon. They're going to do something crazy with it. They're going to do something different. There's no way he would kill him. Well, he's going to die, and it will be the end of the Daredevil book, but it will be replaced with a new series called Man Without Fear.
Yeah.
Which fills me with thoughts where it's like, okay, so Daredevil is dying. Is this a metaphorical death? Will we be following Matt Murdock around? Is he the man without fear, or is someone else the man without fear?
Yeah. No, why are they going like all the way with it, whereas like Daredevil dies and some new persona gets born out of that?
That too, because as we've seen, he's been fighting with his evil, quote unquote, brother, Mike Murdock, who never actually existed, but Reader made him exist.
Yeah.
That's a direction they could take with it. Maybe it's Mike who dies because he doesn't seem to be going away. Maybe Blind Spot comes back and he becomes a Daredevil stand-in. Maybe Frank McGee does, as we said before.
Yeah. I think all of that would be really cool.
Heck, if they want to get really crazy, and again, this segues into our next story, Daredevil Season 3, we got a nice big trailer for that. We got them basically saying, yeah, we're going to give you Bullseye's origin story. And it looks like the big inciting incident of Daredevil Season 3 is Bullseye dresses up and steals Daredevil's costume and goes around to kill people. So wouldn't it be crazy if we saw some synergy in the comics where Bullseye becomes Daredevil?
I think that would be pretty cool.
I don't know if they'll do it.
No,
and even then, that would be... I don't think they would call that Man Without Fear. They'd have to call that, like, the infamous Daredevil or the sinister Daredevil.
Yeah, Superior Daredevil or something.
Oh, that'd be fun. But, yeah, I wonder if we'll see these things connect, if there's a reason why they did this.
Yeah, I definitely think that we will.
What did you think of the Daredevil Season 3 trailer that we saw? And it's starting very soon.
Looks damn great.
It does look cool. At first, I was totally pissed at the idea that he was going back to, like, the black tracksuit. And I'm like, no, you had a good suit. You had maybe the best one. Why are you doing that? Then it's like, oh, Bullseye stole the suit to frame it. I'm like, oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah. There's a really good reason. I know people were saying like, oh, maybe the suit got destroyed at the end of Defenders, and yes, wait for another one to get made. But no, like, yeah, the bad guy steals the suit, and we actually kind of got two trailers because we got that big one, then we got like a one that sort of introduced us to Agent Poindexter, who's gonna be
Yeah.
Bullseye, which was a really cool trailer as well.
I'm shocked that they're actually going with the Poindexter version of Bullseye. I really did expect them to just make him Daredevil's Joker, where he shows up, has no name, has no origin, which is basically how they play him in the comics. In fact, they imply in the comics several times that, yeah, Poindexter's on his birth certificate, but that's probably not even his real name.
Well, that could be the same situation here. Like,
Hmm.
we kind of only got like a little bit of like what Agent Poindexter is about and everything, and it could be like a misdirection or something.
It could be that they seek to, like, what I saw from the trailer is I'm like, okay, are they trying to make him like the literal dark mirror to Daredevil? That is, hey, I had a Law and Order job too, like you. I went outside the bounds of it, but I didn't wear a costume for it. But also, I'm a little crazy and a little bit more murder happy than you.
Yeah. It's all really cool stuff, and it's going to be interesting to because they're going to obviously bring up the sort of same sort of beats they did with like Punisher, where it's like, well, Matt sort of opened the door for people like the Punisher
Yeah.
to come in and like do what he does, but like on a much more violent a scale.
I never thought that these words would leave my mouth, but here I'm gonna do it. Man, I hope Bullseye is as cool as Bushmaster, because Bushmaster was fucking awesome.
He really was. He really was awesome.
like I never thought where it's like, yo, man, what's the trinity of Marvel TV villains? Kingpin, the Purple Man, and Bushmaster are the three best ones. Fucking Bushmaster's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think Bullseye is going to be pretty great. He looks pretty great in the little footage we saw of it.
They look to be dedicating a lot of the show to him and explaining what his deal is, unlike Davros, where they give almost no time to him and his motivation changes every episode.
Yeah, and also we got Kingpin back as well, and
Yeah,
yeah,
which that's always going to be good.
yeah, and I like that in that trailer we see him like openly threatening Matt and everything, and
Mhm.
all of that. That's really cool.
Vincent D'Onofrio just owns that role so hard. He is pure
Yeah,
charisma. Actually, there's a great scene there where what is it, Daredevil? He clearly gets like locked in the prison waiting room, and like those criminals jump him and everything, and he has
yeah.
to fight them. That's straight up from Greg Rucka's Devil in Cell Block D.
Oh, that's awesome.
So clearly they did their fucking homework, and I'm like, all right, you're recreating one of the cool fights. Because again, in that story too, it was the same deal. Kingpin's like, look, so I'm gonna set up situations for you where you either die or reveal yourself to be Daredevil. So I'm gonna have people attack you in public. I'm gonna create these like really fucked up scenarios for you. I'm like, oh, is that the whole season? If so, I'm so fucking in.
Yeah.
I also really want to know, like, how did Kingpin find out about Bullseye? Did he have like an ad in Kiji? Super assassin seeks mob Kingpin up for anything, up for killing love interest too. That's another thing they seek to imply. Hey, Karen, you better run. Have you read a comic? Because Karen Page in the comic is maybe famous for two things: betraying Daredevil for drugs and getting killed by Bullseye.
And she hasn't betrayed him for drugs, so she's got to be the other one.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I'll start doing drugs. I'll start doing drugs. Although they do keep implying with Karen that she has a darker past. Maybe that will be a thing this season too. They'll
Yeah.
reveal whatever her dark past was.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Daredevil news, everyone. So it's a good time to be a Daredevil fan. Here's hoping people actually pick up the goddamn book now.
Hopefully.
Consistently one of the lowest viewed videos on my channel, even though it's one of my favorite to talk about, and maybe one of the highest graded.
Oh no, that sucks.
It happens. It is what it is. I think we all have one book that we do just because we like it.
Yeah.
Now, talk about characters and books that we do because we like them. But Brian Michael Bendis has announced that he's doing a whole brand new line of comics in 2019.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that like this line is in continuity.
Yes. Yes, that's definitely cool. It's funny though. I read this news and all I could think to myself is, hey Brian, remember at your last job, it seemed like you took on way too much work at once
Mm.
and your writing started to suffer because you were being pulled in 100 different directions.
Yeah. Let's tally up like what he's doing. So he's doing Superman. He's doing Action Comics.
That's two.
He's got Pearl.
Yep, which is now going to full series
Yep.
now. It's not a mini series. It's going to be here to stay.
Yeah, he's got Scarlet.
Yep, he's got Scarlet, so that's two, or that's
Uh,
four now.
he'll have these Wonder Comics, so he'll have the Young Justice.
And he'll be overseeing the whole line too, so
Yeah.
that's like editorial duty too on top of all that.
So however many that is. Does he have anything else?
I'm sure he's working on many things, but yeah, that's like 6 new things he's
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, seems like a lot, doesn't it, Brian?
Yeah, and I feel like it's gonna take a hit on these books very soon.
Because it's like, look, man, you're Superman. I've been reading them. I've been reading both of them. And I feel like they could both be better.
Yeah.
And now that I know that you're getting pulled in like 6 other directions, now I worry.
Yeah. It's just, ugh.
But, that being said, positivity where it is due. This new Wonder line of comics looks pretty fucking sick. There's going to be a brand new rebooted Young Justice team just in time for the show.
Yeah, but it's not the show's cast.
No, it's a completely different cast. In fact, it's basically old Teen Titans from when Brian Michael Bendis was reading.
It's a better cast.
It's fucking better is the messed up thing. This is Young Justice is already shaping up to look like a better Titans book than the Titans book. But yes, we have Tim Drake. Someone finally dug him up, and he's going to be back now.
Yeah, he didn't end up going to college. He ended up coming back as Robin.
He didn't go to college, and he also didn't unravel the mysteries of Dr. Manhattan in the universe and any other important work he said he was off to do at the end of that series.
Yeah, well, we don't know that yet. That could be something that comes up in that book.
I really hope it is, but then again, that implies that Bendis actually read stuff, and as we've seen with Superman and Mr. Oz, he didn't read fucking shit.
Yeah, that's true.
I want a good reason. Hey, why did Tim Drake disappear? Well, you see, at the end of Detective Comics, me and Spoiler, we went to like Five Guys Burgers and Fries, right? And I just started eating, and I never stopped, and I got really fat, so I had to work off the weight. And now I'm back. I was at fat camp. That's what I want, just a really stupid reason as to why he was gone. Oh man, I had to binge The Wire. I didn't get it the first time. I had to watch it like 3 more times all the way through to figure it out. But yeah, so Young Justice with Tim Drake, who looks to be leading the charge as the Robin. Bart Allen, who is back in the scene now. We got Impulse. Again, I know so little about what's happening in the Flash books right now. Is Bart Allen a thing? Was he a thing? Is he a thing again?
Yeah, at the end of Flash War, he came out of the time stream thingy that Wally was stuck in.
Right, okay, so Bart Allen has been established, but he's just off doing whatever.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since.
And perhaps the biggest one for this team, making up the trinity of this team, Connor Kent, the Superboy, is back. Although he looks more like the Metropolis Kid than he did when he left.
Yeah, he's full-on Metropolis Kid.
He went new wave in the time he was away. he got like a bit of a Macklemore fade going on. He's got the jacket and all the colors and everything.
Which, to be fair, actually kind of is consistent with like the little bits we've seen of him, like in like Superman Reborn and like some of the posters we've seen in the back of like on like John Kent's room and everything.
This is true. And also, too, it does a nice job differentiating him from John. God willing, if John ever fucking comes back.
Yeah, well, he is coming back. He's back in Superman very soon. There's like literally art of him with Superman and General Zod and everything.
But there's no saying he might not come back and go away, or he'll come back in a form we don't like. Which, oh my god, if that was Bendis' plan all along, he's like, I don't care for this John fellow. I like Connor more. I'm going to put John over here, and we're going to bring Connor back over here.
It's
See
Miles
what I did there?
Morales all over again.
Well, at least then, Bendis wrote him for years, Peter Parker, and at least then he had the common courtesy to fucking kill Peter and let him die as a hero before he invented Miles.
That's true.
But yes, I see what you're saying, where it's like, I grow bored of this character you all enjoy. Bring me a new character. Although in this case, bring me a new character is bring me an old character.
Bring me one that hasn't been seen in years.
Yeah, let me further split the fan base down the middle. The people who wanted Connor back and the people who fell in love with John. Fight for the great Bendis amusement. Yes, your flame wars, they fuel me. But yeah, it's nice to have Young Justice back. Obviously, we're going to have a Wonder Girl on the team, too. We're going to have a bunch of different people on the team. They seek to imply that the great-great-granddaughter of Jonah Hex is going to be here, too.
Yeah, she's there. She's front and center as well.
To where it's like, Bendis, were you trying to get me, Bendis?
Yeah,
no,
he
Joel,
was.
Joel, it's okay. You can like this. There's a Jonah Hex connection. Ooh. You don't say. I wonder, is she going to have a fucked up face, or they're going to have a whole issue where she's like, oh no, I've broken out into terrible acne only on this side?
Well, in the art, she didn't have a fucked up face.
Yet. Give it time.
Yeah, someone will throw acid in her face or something.
Oh, the Hex family curse. Why does this keep happening? Generation after generation. Damn you, great-grandpa in my face. Oh, I hope great-grandpa Hex comes to her as a ghost. Hey, I'm a ghost. I'm your spirit guy. That'd be fun. But there's not just that. Wonder Twins is getting rebooted too, which is hilarious because the line is called the Wonder Line.
Yeah. That's pretty cool that they're getting rebooted.
Again, that feels like Bendis just like flexing his muscles there. It's like, and I want to reboot and bring back the Wonder Twins. Geez, Brian, I mean, I know you haven't worked here, but we've like spent the last 30 to 50 years just brutally ripping on the Wonder Twins every chance we get.
Not only that, the time they brought them back, like, didn't they make them edgy?
Yes, they did.
Or at least they made their, like, dog edgy.
Oh boy, did they.
Yeah.
You really want to do this now in 2018? You think people are ready for Wonder Twins? Yes, the Bendis believes they are. Okay. It's your line and your funeral, and you're going to be writing them, so okay. I did like the artwork, though. The artwork is pretty slick. They're their old costumes, but they're, like, updated for modern times, and they're doing the ring thing, and the monkey is in the locker.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it should be a comedy. It should be, like, a dopey high school comedy where it's like, hey, we're superheroes, only we have kind of lame powers. Well, the guy has lame powers. The girl has good powers.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be a comedy book, basically.
Because it can only be a comedy. And that's the other thing, too. Bendis is funny when he's allowed to be.
Yeah. Like,
Bendis had some really good jokes and stuff, so maybe this is him, like, trying to flex his comedy muscle again.
Maybe, yeah.
Also, too, apparently Dial H for Hero is going to be involved in this, too, so they're dusting off the old Dial H for Hero again.
And I'm very happy because Superman's going to be part of it.
Yay! Again, maybe if you put Superman on a book, people might actually want to read it for longer than not at all.
And Bendis isn't writing that, so it's Superman written by someone else.
Nice.
Which nowadays you got to clamor for.
Also, too, I forget which one of these books my buddy David Walker's working on, but he's working on one of these, too, which, again, confirms the rumor that he was following Bendis to DC, so there you go.
Awesome.
I like Walker being at DC because it's like, cool, now give him another property, please. Let him show how good he is and, like, give him a property that's been slumbering. It's my fingers crossed from, like, bring back Static. Fucking bring back Static and let Walker write it. I know he wants to do it, and I want him to do it. So everybody wins, and by everyone I mean these two people. But hey, that wasn't the only Young Justice news either. If you're a Young Justice fan, your cup runneth over at this New York show because Greg Weisman also announced at the Young Justice panel you're going to be getting a digital prequel series to Young Justice Season 3 Outsiders. It's going to be on the DC digital app, and you can get it sometime in the future.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
this is good integration. This is how it always should have been.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope this continues to be a thing. I hope that, God willing, if Young Justice gets many more seasons, that this gives them a reason to write more comics.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that would be very nice, and I'm definitely going to be checking this one out.
Yeah, yeah. That seems like it's going to be really cool. And I imagine it's going to be pretty integral to like watching the new season as well. Like, oh, that happened in the comic.
The old Young Justice comics were interesting too because they were also written by Weisman and company, and they weren't so much integral to the show, but they did give you interesting background because they took place in between episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, episode 1 of Young Justice, like, Superboy Connor Kent shows up at Mount Justice, and then that's where the episode ends. But if you read the comic, you're like, oh yeah, he also fought the Joker when you weren't looking.
Yeah.
And it also explains why he hates monkeys, because what is it? The Joker went after him with like laughing gas, poisoned monkeys, and that's why Connor hates them.
Yeah.
So that was like an ongoing joke there. But yeah, totally on board for that. Good for them. Good for Young Justice. Good for everyone, really. And also, hey, a digital exclusive for the DC app. This makes me want the DC app now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, somehow I don't think we're going to be getting it because, like, as we found out, like, Titans is being, like, sold to, like, Netflix for, like, distribution. So, yeah, they don't really give a shit about anyone other but the US.
No, they do. I had that on my list, too. That Titans confirmed for season 2. Season 1 hasn't even aired yet. Yeah. And, hey, don't worry if you're in Canada and Australia. They sold them to Netflix so you can watch them there. And also, it's also coming out sooner than you think.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, like, it's being sold to these Netflix. Does that mean, like, we're going to get them same day? Or are we going to have to wait, like, a month? Or
I don't know. I really don't know. This is uncharted territory. But yeah, once again, in the global scheme of things, Australia and Canada get fucked over on release dates.
Yeah, and I would gladly pay for that streaming service, not just because like all the new stuff, like they have like a really good back catalog of like old TV shows as well.
They have Static. They have all the seasons of Static finally collected in digital, in good resolution, so you don't have to pirate it anymore. Because that's a show, like, I'm not afraid to admit it, they never put it out anywhere good on DVD, so if I wanted to watch it, if I wanted to show people to if I wanted to make videos about it, I was forced to pirate it. They were literally forcing people to become pirates just to try and trade tape and keep this show alive.
Yeah, they've got the Superboy live action show, which to get like to like buy, you had to buy like bootleg DVDs, which cost anywhere up to $90.
So see, look, you're actually doing it better than the pirates now, and that's good. Thank you for putting all this shit together.
Yeah.
Where I can see it. But yeah, what else did we have going on here? Ooh, from the Thor books, the next big event for the Marvel Universe is going to be War of Realms in 2019. A story
finally.
that I know it's friggin' Jason Aaron's only been writing this for like what 5-6 years. He's been building up to this.
Yeah.
He's been building it up the entire time he's been on the book, and it's finally going to be an event, and it looks like it's going to be running through the Thor book, potentially a Loki book if that ever comes out, or maybe that was scuttled, and Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Asgardians of the Galaxy makes sense since there's the kid Loki in there, and it all sort of ties back into it. But yeah, really, fucking finally, it's finally happening. How long he's been like teasing it for like years.
Yep. Been building up to it forever, and every year I think, okay, this is the War of Realms event.
This is it.
He's had a million epic events before this, and I have to wonder, okay, if you're finally working up to the War of Realms, is this it for you? Like, once you've done this, are you done?
Is this his magnum opus?
I mean, I think it already is his magnum opus. He'd have to fuck up pretty hard to make this not, like, the best Thor saga of the modern age, maybe of a couple ages.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you'd have to go back quite a few decades to find the last time Thor, A, had such a good run, B, was so relevant. A fan asked me that, where they're like, is this the first time Thor has ever been so relevant in Marvel history? And I had to stop and think about it. I'm like, yeah, kinda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what happens in his book is important. It doesn't always spill over, but clearly the point of this story is that it is going to spill over.
Yeah.
I wonder if Avengers is going to get a tie-in, too, because obviously Aaron is writing that as well.
I imagine. It has to.
it makes sense where it's like the War of Realms is so big the Avengers had to get involved, so let's tell y'all about it.
Yeah.
Speaking for more interesting things coming from Marvel, fan favorite and also favorite on the show too, Tom Taylor is going to be writing a brand new Spider-Man book called The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. They're bringing that imprint back.
Yeah, that's just going to be so cool.
I'm excited for it. Just as Chip Zdarsky ended his run on Spectacular Spider-Man, well, here you go. We got another Spider-Man book for you.
Yeah, and we know like Tom Taylor's really good at writing these type of characters as well. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with it.
Same. I appreciate their marching orders for this one where it's like, look, we are not going to be saving the world in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. There's not going to be any cosmic events. Literally, this is the day-to-day adventures of Peter Parker. This is him doing shit around his apartment.
Yeah, which is what like I think we needed as well. We needed to be reminded that he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
He's lost a lot of the neighborhood-ness.
Yeah.
In the last couple generations, in the last couple decades. And, I like Avengers level Spider-Man and everything, and I like what Spencer is doing. But yeah, Spider-Man's world needs to get smaller again. In fact, I think that last Spencer issue was the best one.
Yeah.
Because it's just Spider-Man going to the villain bar and just having to pay his rent and shit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't even Spider-Man. It was just Peter Parker. There was no Spider-Man in the actual issue.
It's true. He was just Peter Parker the whole time. But yeah, so sign me up for this one. This seems like a really good idea.
Yeah.
More new books from Marvel. This was a really Marvel-heavy show. It seemed like DC had the big Bendis announcement of like 4 books, and that was their big splooging moment.
Yeah, they didn't really announce much else.
In general, I would say this New York Comic Con was smaller than the one we had last year, but it helps that no one was trying to launch a new imprint or a new universe or anything.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of staying the course this time. But this is one that was unexpected for me. The Canadian horror director writers extraordinaire, the Soaka sisters, are going to be penning a brand new Black Widow book.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like the Soaka sisters. Again, they're Canadian, which means they're maybe minor celebrities in America, but they're huge celebrities here because Canada is smaller, our entertainment industry. But yeah, I just like to see Canadians doing good, and they're really fun and really funny in their own right. And they've wet their beaks before in doing comics. They wrote a Nightmare story for Secret Wars, Secret Love, that book, and I think they wrote another one with Daniel Way. So this isn't their first comic, but it's their first like big comic.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Black Widow is one of those characters who it's always like, I should read more about this character, but I never do.
I read her last sort of one-shot ongoing sort of thing, miniseries she had. It was pretty good. I think it was James Robinson did that, I think.
Yeah.
Or is that the Scarlet Witch one? I can't remember.
You might be thinking of Scarlet. I think Matthew Rosenberg did the last one. That was like Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Winter Soldier.
No, that was Tales of Suspense.
Oh, that was Tales of Suspense. Mark Waid did the one before where the first issue was all silent.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, Mark Waid.
I heard.
Yeah.
Heard great stuff about that. That's the other thing. Black Widow is kind of like Daredevil in that regard. Where it's like she has lots of really good runs and really good stories. It's just no one ever talks about it.
Yeah, which is a shame.
It is a shame. Yeah, people should broaden their minds, man. They should read comics outside the main 3, man. What else do we got here? Oh, so this one isn't entirely comic book related. It's a little comic book related, but I thought this bared repeating. Obviously, we all know who Telltale Games are. They make those really made past tense now. Those really enjoyable choose-your-own-adventure style video games that come out episodically. They did The Walking Dead, they did Batman, Wolf Among Us, Guardians of the Galaxy, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
They went under recently. They went bankrupt, had to lay off their entire staff, and they didn't get paid benefits. It was really, really ugly. Turns out they were great writers and great storytellers and great crafters of characters. Not great business people.
Yeah, kind of shitty business people.
Kind of shitty business people. Apparently, like only every other game they made actually made money.
Yeah.
And when the president was talking about it, he blamed Let's Players. Actually, he said due to the cinematic nature of our games, some people didn't buy them. Some people just watched people do it. I'm like, ooh, I'm guilty of that on some of these. Both for doing Let's Plays and for watching Let's Plays on your games. But yeah, so the big thing is that they're in the last season now of their Walking Dead game, the big Clementine saga, the finale of that, and I mean they went under like halfway through episode 2, and everyone's like, well, what the fuck's gonna happen now with this? Will the story remain forever unfinished? No, because Skybound Entertainment, aka Robert Kirkman's company, Robert Kirkman, the writer of the Walking Dead game, they're stepping in to save it.
Basically, the company that actually owns Telltale,
or
owns the license for
yeah, the
Walking Dead.
ones
that could always make games.
That could always make games, the ones that would probably be likely to lose the most off the back of this because they're, you know, still a company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're stepping in with their own money to finish it.
Yeah.
Which is good because the story won't be unfinished, but it'll be sad too because it's like, oh, you guys are just protecting your investment on this one. It's not like the 25,000 people who got laid off are going to get benefits or anything.
No, yeah, that's the thing. And like, they all won't be like hired back to finish it or anything. It'll be like select people like the writers or like, you know, game designer or something. It won't be everyone.
A skeleton crew of only the you need, which, man, that story gets even sadder now. The Walking Dead, the real Walking Dead was the company all along, apparently.
Yeah, and it's even like more fucked up because like apparently like literally like a week before they went under, they hired a bunch of new staff as well, and they had to let them go the following week.
And they forced like a lot of crunch time on their staff too, where it's like, look, you can't see your families, you can't do anything, we got to finish this game. And like apparently we're hearing more and more stuff come out about how, you know, working conditions at Telltale weren't great, and just lots of bad stuff for a company that I always held in high regard for trying to push narrative the way they did.
Yeah. Obviously they, as you said, they were good at all that, but they weren't good at like managing a business.
No, they were not. Also, I guess this means no Batman 3 either.
No.
Unless DC wants to step in and do something, which is kind of a shame because that last Batman game, The Enemy Within, was really fucking solid.
Cool. I played the first season. I didn't play the second one.
Season 2 is way better. Season 2 blows Season 1 out of the water. They do some shit with the Joker in Season 2 that's really fucking amazing.
Cool.
The Joker tries to be your friend.
I did see some of that in Season 1.
Yeah, like, but even more so in Season 2, because it's like the Joker loves you and is like a fan of you, and whether you treat him good or treat him shitty decides what he becomes at the end of the game.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Also, his relationship with Harley, because Harley is in it, their relationship is completely swapped. She is the one abusing him now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well,
it's
not cool, but you know.
No, but it's a very interesting twist where it's like, oh, your relationship is just as toxic and just as wrong and just as fucked up. Oh, but you've switched gender roles on it. Now we're seeing, you know, the one where the woman is the more toxic one and how she manipulates him and like uses his love against him. And I'm like, oh wow, they're actually making me sympathize with the Joker here.
That's pretty cool.
It is good. If you can probably get it for nothing now, but yeah, I would say check it out. They actually take it into some pretty interesting directions.
Cool.
What was our last story here? Oh, here was a surprising little one. Benjamin Percy, of course, a writer that I love from Green Arrow and that short-lived Nightwing run that he did. He wrote a Wolverine audio play, which was something they really tried to get starting there. The Long Night, the dude who played Thorin in the Hobbit movies, he voiced Logan. It was gonna be like old timey radio plays, Matt.
Yep.
Didn't get good reviews for the people who even knew it existed.
No.
It's a smart idea. I mean, like people like audio plays, people like superheroes. I wish it had gotten more popular. Basically, what they're doing now is they took the scripts for it and they're turning it into a comic.
Yeah, which realistically it probably should have been that to begin with.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that was my thing when I read this news. I'm like, oh, so it becomes the thing that it was always meant to be.
Yeah.
Becomes a comic. All right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, more Wolverine, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good year for Wolverine. In fact, it's a good year for X-Men in general. That was the other big thing Marvel had. They're like, and here's 100 new X-Men announcements. You're getting X-Force, and you're getting another thing with Nate Gray in the future age of X-Men, and here's some more X-Force, and here's the Uncanny X-Men and everything. And it's just like, God damn, you guys fucking love your X-Men now that you have them back.
Well, it's like the switch, like how we were saying like the other week, how like we're glad like Avengers is now back to like one book, with like the West Coast Avengers being like that one separate one that you can read if you want, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Whereas like now it's X-Men, it's like you have to read all of these books if you want to get like the whole story, and there's like 16 of them or something.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, hey guys, I was happy and excited that X-Men was getting back on track, but also I don't like that you expect me to read all of these now.
Yeah.
But my love is fickle and everything, and I'm like, guys, are you just gonna keep coming up with new X-Men books now?
Yeah.
Yes. It's the fucking 90s all over again. We got pitches for Excalibur, Ecstatic.
Yeah, everything.
It's never gonna stop, man. Because apparently, what is it? Akira Yoshida, CB Cegluski loves the X-Men very much.
Well, he loves them now that Marvel Studios and like they've got the rights back for like them from Fox.
Yeah. Apparently, there was a big thing there at the actual show, at the Make Mine Marvel panel or whatever, when they took questions from the audience. And one guy, being a total dick, was like, yes, do you think the reason that your company is losing money is because of forced diversity? To which everyone on the panel quickly said, no, and shut the hell up. Although I thought it was so funny to hear a guy like Stevie Cegluski, with his background as Akira Yoshida, getting so defensive about forced diversity. Forced diversity? Well, I know I wouldn't. That's like getting a white guy to pretend to be Japanese to write samurai comics. What kind of company would ever do that?
Yeah, I'd never do anything like that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, shut up and sit down. I'm just like, thank God I wasn't in the room for that. That would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I need some air real bad. But yeah, everyone, that's basically the news for this week. And yeah, we talked for almost a whole hour just on New York stuff. I guess we're not quite at time yet. For everyone who is expecting a Venom spoiler cast, I apologize. It was Canadian Thanksgiving for me, so I couldn't get away and see it. And Matt didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm not apologizing. I could make up an excuse, but I'm not going to make it an excuse to go see fucking Venom.
I'm not going to see it opening weekend, although apparently the box office was very good for Thursday.
Yeah, it'll drop. It'll drop.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm like, how bad is this drop going to be? Obviously, you got all the cinema sadists who are like, oh, fuck, I got to go see this shit.
Yeah, and all the people like who don't know about how bad it is, seeing it and then going in and telling everyone else, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, Joe and Jane Popcorn was like, oh, a new superhero movie on the big picture shows. I'm going to go see that. Only to be like, oh no, it's a black goo monster. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll see it next week if I can make time for it. I'm sure there'll be matinees for it.
Yeah.
If people are really interested in it, although, I mean, I think everyone's pretty much dogpiled on Venom enough already. Do I need to add my voice to the sea of thousands?
Yeah, they've dogpiled on it so much, it's cool, quote unquote, now to like it.
That's the thing. We are in what I like to call the backlash zone, where something goes so far one way, it can only rebound and go the other. And you're absolutely right. I'm seeing people now being like, oh, it's cool to like Venom now.
Yeah.
This movie that was thrown together in 3 months.
Yeah.
For basically no good reason.
Yeah, no.
Although, as Matt and I were talking before the show started, there's actually a good chance now that it might actually make more than Justice League.
Yeah, which I said is not too hard to do.
But at least they didn't spend $300 million on Venom, and that shows.
Yeah.
They weren't betting the farm on Venom. If Venom did bad, we were still going to be getting the Morbius movie.
Oh, God.
In this shared dark universe, and what a dark universe it is.
Yeah, Morbius with goddamn Jared Leto.
Yeah.
What crazy stunts is he gonna pull on this set? What do you think? He actually ate people.
He's gonna start biting people on the set, even though they said no. He's gonna fill little syringes full of blood and just start spraying it at people.
Yeah.
Jared, that's not cool. He's gonna tattoo vampire across his.
Yeah, he's gonna start sleeping in a coffin.
Oh yeah, well I mean that's a no-brainer, yeah. Now, Jared, what does the vampire tattoo written across your head represent? I'm deep. I'm damaged. Oh, I hope he does that. I hope he goes full Count Chocula for it.
Yeah, with an accent.
Hey, Michael Morbius, I'm
Hey,
from
well, maybe
Transylvania.
that'll be like the signature of this universe. You know, we've got Tom Hardy doing a fucking awful accent as Eddie Brock. Now we have Mobius
He,
doing an awful accent.
he sounds like Bugs Bunny who was kicked in the head.
By a
I feel
horse.
I feel bad for Tom Hardy. He is a good actor, but man, there should be something in his contract that says Tom Hardy is never allowed to try and do an accent.
No, or like a voice that's not his voice. Like
Yeah,
he can
really.
do an American accent. I know he could do that, but
Yeah.
and a British accent, of course. But like, yeah, if he tries to do something that's like I'm gonna do like a New Yorker accent or like
Yeah.
whatever the fuck Bane was.
Oh, I'm the king of the gypsies, apparently. That's what he said. And I'm like, I don't believe you. How many travelers have you met, Tom Hardy? Oh, time to go mobile. I like that that's the legacy of that movie all these years later, us just ripping on how silly Bane sounded.
It's so silly.
It really is. I was born in the dark. Okay, now you just sound like Sean Connery. Oh, just a little slap. There's nothing wrong with that.
Did you see that they're putting Bane in the last season of Gotham now?
Are they really? What does he
Yeah.
look like?
They haven't announced that they've cast him some guy called Shane West, who doesn't look like what Bane would actually look like, because of course
And you don't sound Hispanic. People forget that Bane's supposed to be at least half Hispanic.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll be doing that.
No, of course. Isn't it like the last season of Gotham is going to jump ahead 10 years so they can finally show you Batman in the last season?
I saw the trailer for it, and like so the show is, I don't think the whole show, I think it might be the last episode that jumps 10 years ahead like they did with Smallville. But I think like what they're doing is like they're doing what's that story? No Man's Land.
Oh,
Shit. Like the
shit.
trailer like implies like they've cut like Gotham off from like the mainland, all the bridges have blown out, and no
Oh,
one's
boy.
decided to like try and rebuild the bridges or like get into the city, and they've like walled it off, and like the super mutants and those neon painted gang from Batman and
Oh,
Robin
I,
and
I saw. Okay, Gotham, you're stupid, but sometimes you're awesome. Thank you for remembering the Neon Skeleton Gang.
and just like all this like crazy shit that's like why why.
Why do you do this, Gotham? Also, why did you run as long as you did?
Yeah,
Who was
I
watching
know.
you?
Yeah, who the fuck is watching this show?
People who are too lazy to change the channel, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, was the show a lead-in for something more popular that I didn't know? Was it like a lead-in to American Idol or some shit?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't watch cable.
I'm gonna watch this last season, just because
Oh,
like
we have to.
like the trailer is like I'm like okay, it's just gotten off the rails. Like what the fuck is this show even doing?
I think the show went off the rails a long time ago. I think the people who do like it because it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, again, I
Yeah.
watched some clips on YouTube where it's like, oh, and Joker Kid came back, but he was like Scott Snyder face cut off Joker. But then he
Yeah.
had another brother who was more like Jack Nicholson Joker, and he got the Joker juice in him, and then he was gonna bomb the city with his
Yeah.
Joker gang. And like it's literally Harvey Bullock and Gordon threatening to shoot a child
I know.
in
Yeah.
face paint.
That's the thing. Like they're all effectively kids. Like all
Yes.
like the main characters are effectively kids, apart from like Gordon and Bullock. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are they doing this? What is why is Bruce Wayne like so involved in all of this? He shouldn't be.
Maybe the problem, Matt, is we took it too seriously. Maybe we should have just watched it as a comedy from episode one.
That's what they're saying, like the retrospective when the show finishes. Like, oh, we always intended it to be a comedy.
Oh, it was a brilliant comedy. Again, like Adam West Batman. It's like, oh yeah, that was a comedy. We were totally doing an updated version of Adam West Batman.
Yeah, it works. It works. Yeah, we did really well.
It was a dark comedy like The Room. It was just like that. Now, normally in the space between news and before what we read this week or what spoiler cast we're going to be doing, I've started trying to do little ad spots here, talk about different groups that the Comic Multiverse is partnered with. That gets complicated this week. You want to hear this story, Matt?
Yeah, go for it.
So I worked out a deal, worked past tense with an app called Snups. You people may have seen me upload a little video talking about Snups, then quickly editing it out.
Yeah.
That's because we couldn't reach an agreement, and they owed me some money they didn't pay me.
Oh no.
And Joel didn't like that, and we had words. And I'm not proud of what they said. I'm not proud of what I said. But I'm like, you know what? I'm editing this out. I'm deleting the app off my phone because it was one of those deals where they made you download the app to talk about it, which I hate anyway, but I needed the money also. So, hey, if you downloaded Snups and joined my fan group on that, then realized it disappeared, that's why. Because the deal fell through. That's why.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Snuffs isn't getting the ad spot this week. Then I'm like, oh, well, I'll talk about our friends at BetterHelp because, lots of people have been checking them out. I feel it's a really good positive cause, get a little mental health advice, at a reasonable price and, on the go to fit any busy schedule. Polygon had a big article this week about apparently Keemstar and Phil DeFranco and a bunch of other big YouTubers have come out against the group now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently there was a big shitstorm there. I'm not fully severing ties with them. I'll be fully transparent with that. My reading of the article is that a couple people had some bad experiences with it, and that's going to happen when you're dealing with mental health. It's not a one-way street. You got to work with people. It's a thing. Some people didn't like it. The president of the company came out and said, we're still committed to helping people, yada, yada, yada. Maybe we'll update our terms of service to make it more, to make it more viable and to make it more transparent in their own right. So that's not to say I won't be talking about them again in a couple months, but just for me and my own self-respect, maybe they shouldn't get it this week either until that shit dies down.
Yeah.
Until they work shit out on their end. So, no ad spot this week, but I will take this moment to tell you about the Comic Multiverse Cape Joel Patreon. This show was brought to you by amazing fans like you all out there who give me and Matt your hard-earned dollars every month to make this show possible, and we appreciate you for it.
We do. We really do.
You're better than any ad spot or any sponsors. Tell you that right now. But yeah, so if you guys ever wanted a little bit of an insight into what it's like running a YouTube channel and the gauntlets you sometimes have to run and everything, that's one.
Yeah, and that's if that you get past like the like literally hundreds of, and I get sent them as well of like, hey, we saw your channel linked to like biggest viewed video. We want to partner with you, and it's just like a scam or something.
Oh yeah, it's like, well, okay, so it says here you're from darkest Romania. I also don't understand what your product is, and you're also asking me for my mother's maiden name and my social insurance information.
Yeah, why did you want a picture of my credit card? I don't know why they wanted a picture of that.
Yeah, I don't think I should trust you. I think I'll move along here. But yeah, now, as I mentioned before when this whole conversation started, if you wanted a Venom thing, we're not going to do it. But I figure I'm far enough in the game now just to take us for like the next 20 minutes or so. Hey, let's talk about that Spider-Man PS4 game.
Hell yeah, it's a goddamn good game.
Right up there with God of War and probably Red Dead Redemption for Game of the Year so far. Definitely some of the best boss battles of the year.
Oh god, yeah. Definitely.
Like, even just from the first one where it's like, hey, fight Shocker in the bank. I'm like, yo, this is some Spider-Man-ass Spider-Man shit.
It is. That was so cool. Like I took a little bit to get there because I just couldn't help myself but explore the city. But
Same.
yeah, like the boss fights, they're all so unique. They weren't just like sort of the same thing where it's like web up the enemy, gotta attack him, and then wait for the button prompts. Like, it wasn't that at all for each of the villains. Each of them had like a unique sort of gimmick. Yeah, like are you at the Scorpion yet?
Pardon? Yes, or I will be soon.
I won't tell you what his fight's like.
Again, I have seen some stuff where that looked great. There's a whole fight with Tombstone that you might not even get if you don't do the
Yeah.
side quest. I love that there's like a whole just Tombstone related side quest.
Yeah, yeah, I like it, how it's like also it's part of the main plot, but then they're like, oh, you can follow this on in the side quest.
If you like. Also, Tombstone's a biker in this one, which is funny because in every other universe he's like a Harlem-based gangster. So I think it's funny here that they turned him into a
Yeah,
biker.
yeah, it kind of makes sense though.
Yeah, again, he can feel no pain, so if he fell off a bike, it wouldn't hurt him.
Yeah,
Also, too, to think that Spidey in that fight is almost like trying to talk some sense into Lonnie, where it's like he feels bad for him for being born different and being like an albino and
yeah,
feeling no pain. And he's like, no, I'd like to come here one time and see you doing good, Lon. He's like, yeah, I'll do good as soon as it starts paying.
yeah, yeah. That's the cool thing about this Spidey. Like he tries to like get through to his villains before
Yeah.
while trying to fight them and everything. Which is
Some
like a
really
big
good.
thing with like the main villain of the game, which I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
well.
Yeah, but although I think people will figure it out. It's funny. There's some really great reinventions here. Tombstone, as we mentioned before, MJ works for the paper, which is hilarious because in the comic she's had literally every job under the sun except for working for the paper.
And yeah, I actually prefer like journalist Mary Jane, like who's like a like yeah, a journalist, a photographer, a bit of everything for the Daily Bugle.
You could argue they make her into Spidey's Lois Lane in this one, but hey, when
It
it works,
works.
and it facilitates some good stealth missions where you get to play as
Yeah,
her.
yeah, that's what I really liked. How it wasn't all Spider-Man. You got to play as Mary Jane and also Miles in a couple of little parts.
I think that's what this game nails that no superhero game really has managed to do, and that is the secret identity part, the double life part, and also the fact that a comic book is bigger than just the main hero. You fuck around sometimes just as Peter Parker. You fuck around as Peter Parker's friends, and it's like, yeah, that's what reading a Spider-Man comic is like.
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, that the superhero games haven't really got that. Like you're always the hero. You're always like in the
Hmm.
Arkham games. You're always Batman, except for that
Yep,
one little part in Arkham City where you're like Bruce Wayne.
right at
Um,
the beginning.
yeah, but like yeah, that's something like they probably need to do from now on, where they're like, oh yeah, we'll when we're playing as the actual secret identity, we can play with all these other heroes and people, characters, and everything. It's really cool.
Because the time you spend as Peter Parker makes the stuff you do as Spider-Man more important, and vice versa. They play off each other like in a good Spider-Man comic
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
They have that too. Another thing that reigns true in this game as it does anywhere else. Man, Peter Parker can't have a positive male role model in his life, can he?
No, they either die or like become a villain.
Every older man who is nice to Spider-Man ever. I'm fucking evil. So many good like little like usually I hate fetch quests in video games, but here they made them all really good and worth it. Like the backpacks that give you little audio logs that fill in the blanks of the universe, to the landmarks where you actually get to see cool ass landmarks from the comics and from the real New York.
Yeah, 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 the backpacks. There's also like a little later on in the game you unlock like a skill that lets you see like secret photo opportunities in the city,
Mm,
which gives you even more like comic book references as well as like more like famous places in New York that only New Yorkers would know.
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, just like doing like these what like they're not fetch quests, but they're really
Yeah.
rewarding.
They are. They actually make you want to do them. Another thing, it's funny, Spider-Man in this game doesn't hit nearly as hard as Batman does in the Batman games, and at first that bugged me, but then I started unlocking more web gadgets, and that made it more interesting. Like, okay, they want you to use gadgets. Spider-Man uses more gadgets to fight than Batman does in the
Oh yeah,
Batman games.
yeah, and it kind of makes sense as well because he's not as trained as Batman. Like yeah, he can fight and everything, but yeah, he kind of relies on like his web bombs and stuff like that a little bit more than Batman relies on his batarangs.
And because, Spider-Man is smart and he's an inventor and a scientist and everything, it's like, ooh, here's some
Yeah,
cool shit he built.
yeah,
And I like it starts with just, oh, here's some impact webs, and then you got like web landmines and web bombs and electricity webs.
yeah, yeah. I love using all of them. They're all so cool.
They really are. Then you got all your costumes, and every costume comes with a new power.
Yeah, that's what I really like. And the cool thing is as well, you can make like a custom suit where you can like pick which suit you want and then like customize all the powers for it. So like
It's true.
it's like the 2099 suit in like the homecoming suit or something.
What was your favorite costume? I was actually shocked at how well rendered the Scarlet Spider costume was.
That was really looked really good. All the details on it and everything.
Mm.
I liked was it the Mark IV armor, the armored one with like the green spider on the underlit spider, the one he had in I think like all new, all different Spider-Man.
That's a really good one. I liked the modern Dan Slott one with like the green outlining and everything,
Yeah,
which
that one.
always looked
Yeah.
silly in the comics, but looks amazing in the game because
Yeah.
they give it this shiny armor
Yeah.
sheen. I'm like, why did this never look as good in the comic?
Yeah, yeah. The homecoming one looks really cool.
That's a really nice one. That's really even like just the standard Spider-Man costume for the game is good, like the one you start with in the tutorial.
Yeah, the basic one. Yeah.
Then there's the original Insomniac one with the big white spider. It's funny. I listened to an interview with like the lead artist on the game, and she was saying, I actually put a lot of time and effort into that costume, and my idea is that the blue on the costume is like the stretchy, breathable stuff that an athlete would wear. The white stuff is the hardened Kevlar that if someone was shooting at him, that would hopefully absorb it, and all of his
Mm-hmm.
is like squishy parts.
Yeah.
And that the red is like a little bit more armor to like absorb a punch. And I'm like, oh, you actually did put a lot of thought and effort into this.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well because like that costume comes from Otto. Like he invents that costume.
Yeah, which is a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really good stuff, a lot of great world building, and they don't blow their wad right away, which I also appreciate. They're like, look, we're not going to put too many references to Eddie Brock or Venom or the Black Costume or anything like that. We've got time for that.
Yeah. Well, they do actually like they do tease Venom near the end of the game. Is it in the after credits or just before the credits? But yeah, you'll see it, and it's a very interesting way they do it as well.
I'm like 70% done right now. I will say, here's a cool thing. You're playing along the game, you're doing the Mr. Negative stuff, then that stuff finishes up. You hit what is undeniably what you would think would be a finale, and then the game keeps going.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we're not done yet.
Because I was getting to the point, I'm like, but where's the stuff from E3 with the big raft breakout?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I was actually surprised at like how late in the game that was, because I was thinking, oh, maybe this is going to be like the thing that starts the game up and all these criminals get loose in the city, and the game is going to be you fighting each other and rounding them up. But yeah, that's like one of the last things in the game.
Yeah, it's like halfway through the third act.
Yeah.
Like, you hit a point where it's like, well, I guess that's the finale. Nope, guess not.
Nah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just all in all, really, really solid game.
It is. It's a really solid game. It's got a lot of replayability as well. And it helps as well. They're also releasing, like, I think DLC in, like, the next week or two. Like,
yeah, you get a
like
Black Cat one.
Proper DLC as well. Yeah, I like the Black Cat one. Is like there's leading quests to it as well that you can play through in this one, and then it's like oh, there's gonna be more from that coming in DLC.
Yeah, I really appreciated that one. Ooh, roaming boss fights too with a secret boss that we won't spoil for those who haven't played it. But I'm like, oh shit, you can actually just fight this guy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just all in all, just a good time from start to finish. They have clear and present like rollout of new content that I will be excited to play.
Yeah, it sets the bar very high for future superhero games, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's better than the Arkham games.
I mean, Arkham 1 and 2 were so strong, but then they kind of fizzled out to the point where it's like, ooh, you arguably have more bad games than good games now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad.
Yeah, they kind of went a bit too far with it.
They went a little nuts there. They went a little too Batmobile.
Yeah.
Although that being said, for future Spider-Man installments, they wanted to put the Spider-Mobile in there. I'm okay with that. Look, Spider-Man, what we really want you to do is drive a car.
Why? No reason.
Can we talk to you about how fun Jameson is in this? They basically make him a Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones radio voice in your ear talking about how shitty you are.
Oh, he was so great. So great.
And you never actually meet him in person, which I thought was another way of them showing a lot of restraint.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like this isn't like an origin for Spider-Man. This is like a
No.
Spider-Man who's been Spider-Man for like 8 years, and they like make reference to like when he used to work at the Bugle under Jameson, and how Jameson left, then Peter left, and all this like really cool stuff. So and that's what I think the game needed, because you get all these superhero games, they're always like an origin game.
They always feel they have to go that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this one just drops you in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, it's Spider-Man. You know who Spider-Man is.
What I liked about Jameson's characterization is that it would be really easy to make him just a jerk ass to laugh at and everything. And indeed, he is funny and you do get to laugh at him. But they weave in actual character stuff to where it's like, yeah, he hates Spider-Man, but only because he loves law and order and justice, and he actually does believe what he's saying, and he does want what's best for the city.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really great. I hope we get to see him in a sequel.
Oh, I'm sure we will. That's totally something we need to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's more or less the show this week, everyone. You got your New York Comic Con news. You got us talking about Spider-Man. We definitely hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back again next week for a little bit of the same.
Yeah, definitely.
And hey, if you're a patron, you'll get to listen to this episode first before anyone else over on patreon.com. Everyone else gets it Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And then if you want to listen to it and download it on SoundCloud and iTunes, you get that the following Thursday, if when I remember.
If you remember. If your audio doesn't stuff up and I have to give you another audio and save the show again.
Save the show as he does multiple times. I have no idea why it just does that shit out of the blue sometimes. It's the damnedest fucking thing when it does it. But yeah, so that's the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had fun. We will be back again next time for more Comic Multiverse goodness. I have been Joel.
I'm Matt.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.